He says he can make you rich, and you don't need money and you don't need education. All you need is to take his course, follow his advice, and the money will come pouring in. Well, thousands are signing up. Here's Steve Wilson's investigation.
Ever dream of living in a house like this? It's no dream for Tom Vu.
You think I'm at the country club? No, no, no. This is my house. This is my tennis court. This is one out of the 5 houses that I own in this very neighborhood.
Actually, now he owns 7 houses like this in his own neighborhood. You'd need some powerful paychecks to roll through life like Tom Vu.
A lot of you think you have a good job. You got nowhere yet, my friend. Look at the choice I have. 2 cars, 2 sport cars to drive. I got confused. I don't know which car I want to drive. What car do you want to drive, hey?
And you dream of setting sail with a boatload of sexy shipmates?
I invite you to come to my seminar. Learn how to make a lot of money. Once you have a taste of a good life, you will never go back.
And that's the lure that reels him in virtually every week to Tom Vu's real estate seminars. In just the first 2 days of this week, he's held half a dozen in 4 states. His lawyer says it's not fair to say Tom Vu is selling a scheme to get rich quick. But listen to how Tom Vu himself describes what he's hawking.
I call it the Tom Vu quick money-making system. And I've been teaching this system all over the country in the last 5 years.
He's pocketed cash from thousands of people by persuading them his secrets of success can lead anybody from rags to riches just by buying and selling real estate the Tom Vu way. He says you don't need money, you don't need credit, you don't even need a college degree. He says he can teach you to make millions starting from nothing, the same way he did.
In 1975, me and my family came to America as poor immigrant people. We were broke, destitute. Take a look at this picture here. Me, Mom, Dad, 10 brothers and sisters have to live in a little bitty tent like this.
He came in America poor, and a lot of people say, hey, if he can't do it, I can do it. But guess what? 99 will not do it, will never do it. Those are the real facts.
Tom Vu hired this man to help teach, but he says it was Tom Vu who talked students into forking over big tuition fees, even when some of them could ill afford it.
Absolutely false. There's not a single person that would ever come to me and say, this is the last dime that I ever had, and I say, go to the seminar.
Well, I remember one student from Toronto.
Elmo remembers a man desperate to save his struggling pizza franchise.
And he says to Tom, he told me the story, he says, Tom, my last 10,000 or whatever the fee was at that time, I have it under the corner of my carpet in my living room. Should I take it and give it to you? Because that's the last penny I have.
And you told him to go get the money and sign up for the Tom Vu seminar. True or not true?
False. Absolutely false.
Tom answered, yes. Go under the carpet, take the money.
Why is Elmo saying that? Why do you believe in somebody like that?
I have plenty of people who are saying plenty of things just like that.
I take the isolated case, one at a time, my friend.
Vu says Elmo is disgruntled because he was fired. But anyone who goes to hear Tom Vu can tell you this.
He said right at the seminar itself, if you have to sell something to come, do it. If you have to mortgage your house, do it.
A lot of people don't have the guts to learn how to get rich, my friend. Well, you don't have the guts to learn how to get rich. You deserve to be poor.
The seminars Tom Vu talks about on TV are free, but they're mostly a come-on for other seminars he wants you to pay to attend. 2-day sessions in your hometown cost $1,500, but this is the program Tom Vu really wants you to buy into. His week-long real estate boot camp, where he says you can really learn to be a success. 19 people did it just last week, despite the $16,000 tuition per student.
The greatest success is yours. 19 students in this class, $16,000 apiece. That's $300,000 in 1 week, in 5 days.
That is a very, very low price to pay for my time and my expertise nowadays.
Low maybe in comparison to what he made not long ago when 100 people showed up and paid, we're told, $15,000 a head for a total of $1.5 million for a week. And we've learned the profit off his students doesn't stop with just their sky-high tuition.
They pay their own airfare, yeah.
To a travel agency, in most cases, owned by your family?
Oh, they can call another travel agency, yeah.
But you encourage them to use yours, yes?
If they want to, yeah.
Okay.
By operating their own agency, the Vus can quietly take a 10% commission on not just the airfares, but also the students' hotel bills, which run nearly $100 a night, whether they ever get to sleep in them or not.
Sleep is optional and food is optional.
For 5 days and 5 nights, with virtually no chance to sleep, students survive mostly on adrenaline. And when they're ready to nod off in the wee hours, staying awake is as easy as...
1, 2, 3. You're beginning to making your fortune.
Vu does meditation exercises so students can relax and contemplate all their cash to come. And whenever there are short breaks...
I will try.
They're supposed to be working the phones, looking for homeowners in a jam.
The key for you to make some quick cash using my system is to buy property from distressed people who have to sell quickly, like foreclosure, divorce, estate sale, bankruptcy, tax lien, and so forth.
It's not easy for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is the fact that most local realtors are not exactly big supporters of Tom Vu and his wannabe millionaires.
When students try to find those deals, what do you think most realtors tell them?
Look, buddy, if I find properties that low below market value, you'd be the last person in the world I'd call.
Offer them a sweetener, okay? Tell her to offer the interest rate going up.
Interest rate up.
Even though Tom Vu and his instructors work hard to show even the most novice student how to hammer out a deal, most have no money to buy.
That's the whole deal. That's why people pay so much money, because they're getting Tom Vu as a partner. And if you cannot afford it, I'll buy, he'll tell you. How many properties has he bought through joint ventures?
How many joint ventures in the last year with students?
This is a company trade secret.
What he does more frequently, when students find a hot deal, as this one did last week, Vu pays them a finder's fee and takes the deal and most of the potential profit for himself. Bottom line, virtually all his students may go home with a hug and a smile on their face, but call them months later, they're not smiling. We found only 1 out of 10 ever made enough money to even pay off their seminar expenses.
But the 9 out of 10...
Who cares? Hey, you should care about the 1 out of 10 that became a success. A lot of my students who are average people make a lot of money. Why not you?
You want to become rich? Go see Tom.
Hold it. How do you figure this guy named Al made $27,000 on 2 deals in 3 weeks? You don't suppose marrying the millionaire's sister had anything to do with it, do you?
Oh, that's my brother-in-law, Al Woodruff.
If I can apply the Tom Vu techniques and make $33,000 on this house, you can do it too.
And this fellow, guess whose office we found him working in last week? He is a Tom Vu employee. Well, if you pay Tom Vu all that money and still can't land a deal yourself, can you get your money back?
I do not promise anyone a refund. We do not give refund. You know why? Because I don't believe in that.
But what about this guarantee they give you to entice you to sign up and pay your tuition?
You have a guarantee.
We have
here
that.
it is.
It's a unique guarantee. I'm proud of it. Let me show you this.
You're proud of it, but you sit here and tell me you don't do any guarantee.
The guarantee?
Actually, he said he doesn't give refunds. And to get your money back with this guarantee, you'd have to spend 10 hours a week for a year and keep meticulous notes about how you failed. Only then would you be eligible to get any money back.
And how many refunds have you given, Mr. Vu?
How many refunds we have given? Very few.
How many?
Very few people who ever follow this guarantee.
How many?
How many? It's very few. You can name it in the finger.
9 out of 10 may be failing, but Tom Vu says...
I'm very glad that this is on national TV. At least that my seminar room will be filled with people. I would like to have just really, really hard-working people who really know what it takes to be a success to come. People have the right to run whatever they want to say, okay? I have done the best I could, my dear friend. You watch the people at the 5-day training. I have given my heart out, and they already admit that, hey, it works. They're leaving the room very happy. And when they go home, I cannot control their life, my friend.
Well, new students with a burning desire to be rich will have to dig a little deeper to come up with Tom's new tuition fee. He's raising the price soon to $20,000 per student. Just ahead, the man who stalked and killed Rebecca Schaefer is on trial. Did a rock song make him do it?
Ground transportation arranged through General Rent-A-Car, America's fastest-growing car rental company, with free unlimited mileage coast to coast. General Rent-A-Car.
We'll do it live! Investigates a Buckingham Palace
Do it live!
who is reportedly dealing illegal drugs.
kill Michael Myers! It's impossible!
This is what happens when you work to change things.
You're being a little bitch! What do you fucking want from me? Get off my dick!
You know, if you don't understand the situation, it's better sometimes not to speak and just be proven a complete imbecile in the matter. Okay.
Here we are, another one.
You understand what I'm saying?
Another State of the Grift update.
Woo! Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, boy.
Are you saying it? What are you saying?
Yes. Yep.
First they think you're crazy, then they fight you.
I don't know.
All right.
And then all of a sudden you change the world.
So, good evening. Let's see what Trey, is that his name? Trey Collins? I think that was his name, right? Honestly, I had a senior moment. Let's see what he's got to say.
I'm coming back to YouTube.
Whoa! 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 What? Nice shirt, too, by the way. Man, he's ripped. Man, he must be eating good. Living high off the hog, as they say. From those millions. Wait, how I lost 2 million? Well, okay. Hey, all right.
Hey, hope you guys.
Hey, what's up?
Back to YouTube. Hey, hope you guys are doing well.
Coming back to YouTube? He's coming back to YouTube. Oh boy. Okay.
There's a lot to talk about. I'm coming back to YouTube.
Is there really a lot to talk about? Okay, all right, I'll shut up.
But first and foremost, I think you guys deserve an explanation about a lot of things, because as things sit right now,
this is good. This is juicy. I have not seen this yet. This is my first time seeing this. Wow. He's actually gonna, I mean, I can tell anytime anybody's, looking up like that. He used to do that all the time. You guys remember? I used to talk about it. They can't look at the camera when they lie to you. So, are we going to get more lies? Are we going to get more are we going to get more shifty eyes, shifty Adam shifty, or what? Well, that's what drugs do to you, Lynn. This is an anti-drug. This is now an anti-drugs podcast for this evening, and here's our specimen. Anyway, he looks like he's. I'm trying to be nice. Okay, you ruined my life, Trey. But give me an explanation, all right? We deserve it.
About a lot of things, because as things sit right now, I would assume that the majority of people think that I made a bag of money and I just ran for the hills, which is a fair thing to think. If you were to look back on the way that things had ended, I would assume people thought I was paid to shut up about AMC, and there was a good amount of money, enough for me to just run.
Oh.
But that's really not what happened. And I want to explain the full scope of things. So I'm going to talk about a lot of things today. I'm going to talk about why I left YouTube. I'm going to talk about...
Has he even looked into the... Oh, right, he did, right there.
Leave YouTube. I'm going to talk about the story of the years to come after...
Was it Dwayne's fault?
I'm going to talk about my plans coming back to YouTube.
Oh, God.
One other thing. We'll get into that as things progress. So...
Dwayne?
In order to really explain why I left YouTube and what had happened, I first have to go back in time a little bit so you guys can understand my psychology and my faults as a person, first and foremost.
Why does this sound like a fucking AA introduction or something? I don't know. This is weird. Thought he made a bag of money, lost other people's money, then ran for the hills. I think that's close. He made a bag of money off of other people's money, and then lost it and the other people's money. And then he remember when he accidentally had calls on Tesla when the market was crashing in 22? He said he accidentally had calls on Tesla. I don't know. I remember that. But anyway, I think it was around the same time as where is it? Here it is.
What do you fucking want from me? Get off my dick!
So now we're back on Trey's dick. We're back on Trey's dick. All right.
Before as a person, first and foremost,
Oh, by the way, Telegram voice chat open for anybody who wants to come in and do whatever. So join it if you dare. Although I don't know why I'm not seeing what I should be seeing there. Well, that would be why. Duh. Okay. All right. Anyway.
Before I got onto YouTube, I had financial problems. A lot of them were self-induced, to be quite frank with you. When my dad passed away, I was about 18 years old, and then my stepdad. And when he passed, the night that it happened, I was playing blackjack at the casino.
Oh, Jesus.
1 in the morning for my little sister, saying, "Hey, Dad's dead." And that sucked. And I'm not saying that to make it feel bad for me. Everybody dies. It is what it is. People lose parents.
Yeah.
Because I think psychologically that
everything dies, and that's a fact. They blew up the Chicken Man last night. What can I say? All right.
Did something to me. It created gambling as a vice to escape my emotions and pain and anxieties and things that I should deal with but don't want to deal with. It was just a negative vice for me. So fast forward, some years passed, and I ended up getting onto YouTube for stocks and investing. Before I got into stocks and investing, I was a runner. I ran for about 13 years. I couldn't do it anymore. I've got a heart problem. I could talk about that a lot, but that's not important. I got into stocks in about October of 2020, and this was back when things were really hot. I mean, back then you could throw a dart at 100 stocks, small and mid-cap companies, and whatever you hit, if you put $100 into it, you're probably going to 2, 3, 4, 5x your money.
Where?
Period of time.
Where is the tray that gave us the options trading masterclass? That's what I want to know. This is not the tray of an options trading masterclass. Is that still up? Can we still access that? Trey Collins options trading masterclass. I'm gonna have to look for that. We all expire worthless at the end. Exactly. I knew you would get it, Lynn.
So I made a lot of money.
Manuel. Lynn gets it too, but Manny said it.
And I thought, damn, if I'm this good at stocks, I should make videos documenting it so maybe people can watch my stuff and make money too. So I did.
Oh, okay. All right. I see where we're going with this, but yeah. We all expire worthless at the end. I cannot let that was so great to see that quote come up on a Reddit. I think it was a Reddit comment or something. Where is it? Geez, I am gonna have to find that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find that one. Anyway, sorry.
I started a YouTube channel in December of 2020, and right when I started, I was pretty successful. Things went really well. I made a good chunk of money, and eventually,
yeah, hell yeah,
AMC at like $2 or $3. And at $2 or $3, I made a video saying I think it's going to go up, and it did. And my video went viral. And overnight, just like that, I had 100,000 subscribers, and my videos were getting a shit ton of views and making me a shit ton of money. And this was probably the worst thing that could have possibly happened for me at the time.
The videos were making him a shit ton of money? Just a minute ago, it was the stock trading that made him a shit ton of money, but now he's saying that the videos made him a shit ton of money. Remember that. I think that's going to be...
based on my past experiences. Now, I'd mentioned that I was not good with money and that I gambled a lot. But I want you to understand that I got myself into a decent amount of debt before I got on YouTube. Some of it, unfortunate circumstance. I've got an autoimmune condition that causes inflammatory problems for me. And for me, I've experienced a lot of So, I accumulated some debt and some bills from, the steroid drops that I have to take for my eyes. But the majority of it was just...
Yes, because we know if there's one thing that the United States military government does not provide for its people, it's health care. So why were you in debt for health reasons? I don't know. Was he actually even in the military? He didn't even say that. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm sorry I'm being annoying, stopping all the time, but these are questions I have. How? Why? Really? Ooh, okay.
I was making, $3,500, $4,000 a month. If I was full-time at Buffalo, I was from... I accumulated some debt and some bills from, the steroid drops that I have to take for my eyes. But the majority of it was just, I was making, $3,500, $4,000 a month. If I was full-time at Buffalo Wild Wings, which most of the time I wasn't, but, if I was working part-time, just weekends,
What the hell? Oh my God, no way.
Really?
$1,000 or $2,000 a month, and I was taking that money and being wildly irresponsible with it. 80-90% of it I was just gambling, and the rest I would leave for myself to pay bills and to survive. So I accrued a lot of debt, credit card debt.
But this is before meme stocks.
I got on YouTube.
This is before YouTube. He was talking about working. Oh, but he talked about he talked about being at work. He even shot videos from work, he said. Or am I just hallucinating? I mean, I'm not disputing that he retired from the military with lifetime checks, but the timing, maybe I'm just making a mountain out of a molehill. I'm just going to gloss past this.
All of those things. And the reason I thought I had is because I saw such immediate success that I didn't really experience failure or loss. So I just thought I was a god, to be honest, which sounds stupid as shit.
This is the same story.
You're going to be like, yeah, of course.
This is the same exact origin story that we heard from Astro, if you can believe it. Okay. Yeah, because he gambled some money on some meme stocks, and he made money, and he thought, oh, I'm good at this. I should do this. And yeah, you weren't.
Dummy, why would you think this shit, now? And listening to this, you're going to be like, yeah, of course, you dummy. Why would you think you're going to win every single time you trade? But at the time, I really was. I really wasn't experiencing loss whatsoever. But
nobody was.
Overnight, and then from December of 2020 to June of 2021, my channel grew like crazy, and I made about $1.5 million. And this is an absurd amount of money. It really is like hitting the lottery. I basically hit a scratch ticket that paid me $1.5 million, and that's amazing. That's an insane thing that doesn't happen to a lot of people. That's a 1 in a million type thing. I was in the right place at the right time. I put my money where my mouth was, and things ended up working out. But the problem is what followed afterwards, and this is why I ended up leaving YouTube, is I made $1 million on AMC call options in June of 2021. I remember June 2nd, I took a...
Here we go.
...of my brokerage account, over $1 million. And what stinks, man, is I took some of that...
That you didn't show that fucking screenshot to anybody? Any of your followers? Any of your 300,000 followers? Nobody saw that screenshot? Is that what sucked about it? What sucked about it, Trey? What fucking sucked about it? Because I'm noticing a lot of fucking suck right now. For fucking real. This is the most fucking revisionist fucking bullshit. Ugh. Yes. Yes, Trey. Tell us. Tell us about your $1 million.
Shot of my brokerage account.
That you didn't show us.
And
fucking loser.
Thanks, man, is I took some of that money and I set it aside, but I took a very large chunk of that money and I bought AMC stock in the high 50s, low 60s.
You are a fucking moron. You are a fucking idiot. Okay? That's all we've learned, confirmed so far, is that Trey Collins is a fucking moron.
60s, whatever. The man is, I took some of that money and I set it aside, but I took a very large chunk of that money and I bought AMC stock in the high 50s, low 60s, whatever the price was. I can't remember exactly. And I very quickly watched that money evaporate. And let me tell you, when you come from a place where you don't have a lot, I grew up in small town Bowles, Minnesota, population of 210 people. I've never seen more than maybe at most, and I'm probably being very liberal here, $10,000 in my bank account at one given time. To go from that to, being a millionaire in a 6-month period of time is insane, And when that happened and I put all that money into the stock, I watched it bleed very quickly. I was losing $50,000, $100,000, $150,000, $200,000.
Jesus.
To drop and drop and drop and drop and drop. And psychologically, that flipped a switch in my brain. And the switch that it flipped was...
When exactly was that? Was that before or after you told your followers in July that you know that it's going to go back up and that the new all-time highs are yet to be set? Was it before or after that? I don't know. But let's just keep going here because it sounds like it's going to get even better.
And the switch that it flipped was, quite frankly, like a gambling itch. And I began trading on tilt. And the reason why I left YouTube is because I was being a degenerate and I was being a loser and losing all my money. And I want to explain to you how I lost all my money so you can really understand things. In the whole time that I was on YouTube, I made over $2 million. And I have none of that money anymore. To be frank with you, I work as a server as things are, and I'll get into that more later. But I made over $2 million. And I lost all of that money just trading on tilt, playing blackjack at casinos. And a small percentage of it was like travel.
Oh, boy.
I know at the time I was going through like a 4-pack of the 5% menthol views pods every 2 days. Some of it went on to weed.
Model 3 dude. What's up, dude?
I know. Waitresses like $10,000 for a video once, and I donated to some organizations I believed in.
Yes, we remember that. Oh, we remember that one. What? Okay. All right.
Maybe $100,000 in total I gave to things I believed in. Like, I know I tipped waitresses like $10,000 for a video once, and I donated to some organizations I believed in. And when I'd give them some money, and friends and family I've given some money to.
But he was Pulte before Pulte was Pulte. Not really.
Over the majority of money that I lost because I was trading on tilt and I was reacting emotionally to the markets. And that stinks, man. That's a really shitty thing. And that happened from June of 20.
Why don't you explain to your ignorant followers what trading on tilt means? Why are you throwing around, degen gambling terminology like everybody else is as degenerate as you? And you know what's funny, Model 3 dude? Is I honestly, if you scroll up in the, I don't know if you can see the previous chat or not when you joined, but I couldn't remember his fucking name. I had trouble remembering this guy's fucking name. For real. So I think I got it right though. Trey Kellens, right? Trey Collins, that's right. Okay. Anyway, he's explained to us that he was in debt, medical debt, before he began trading, and that he worked at BW3s as a server. Although I thought he was in the military. That's what they said on Fox News, or was it MSN, CB, whatever, CNBC, BS, I don't know. He was the guy in fatigues, and he was the Mr. G.I. Joe dude. But now I'm finding out that may not have been true. So that's interesting. That warrants more investigation. But he's telling us how he won, or he made and lost $2 million. He has none of that money now, and also, I don't know. Okay. Keep going here.
21 until I walked away September of 2022. And that was a really unideal year and a half, year and a quarter. And I didn't
Well, you know, there's the fact that September 2022 was literally the bottom of the fucking market. Okay, there's also that. I mean, so what we have here is he's when he says he's trading on tilt, and when he says he's gambling minus the blackjack, whatever, I'm assuming that he's talking about buying call options as his primary method of flushing money. I'm guessing, because I made money in 2022 trading options, but it wasn't call options that I was trading that I made money with. But yeah, so he's talking about, you know, September 2022. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. That was the bottom of the market. Anyway, okay.
really share that with people for good reason. It happened from June of 2021 until I walked away September of 2022. And that was a really...
He should have walked away a fucking year earlier. Okay.
Unideal year and a half, year and a quarter. And I didn't really share that with people for good reason. I probably...
Yeah, he tried to milk as much as he could from it, didn't he? Yep.
You know, I could have back in the time. But it's a very embarrassing and humbling thing to happen to you. And I... not even the people closest to me in my life knew that that was happening because I was so embarrassed of the way that I was conducting myself in money. Because how can you explain to your friends and family and your followers or anybody that you made $2 million and now you're broke, that you're living paycheck to paycheck?
Well, the thing is, you conduct yourself with honesty from the beginning. If you were upfront with everyone at the time when you did it, you wouldn't have had the shame a year later when you fucked it up. Okay, continuing.
When I was on YouTube, I was making on average like $30,000 to $40,000 a month, and I was living paycheck to paycheck because 90% of whatever I made went into the stock market, and the rest was used to pay bills and to survive, you know, which is absolutely 100,000% the wrong way to handle your money. And I knew it at the time.
You don't say. You don't say.
Because I don't think of myself as a low IQ individual. I certainly have a good head on my shoulders, and I knew the things that I was supposed to do, but I couldn't bring myself to do them, if that makes sense.
Charlotte, that's a good question. I don't know what the point here is because I feel like I respect this guy less now. I mean, I don't know. We're not even halfway through this video because I can't shut the fuck up and let him talk. So, but, you know, I wanted to acknowledge your comment because, yes, I mean, look, it's a video of he's talking about what happened to him, okay? So I understand. But still, this is... That's
a discipline thing. That's an impulsivity thing. That's an emotionality thing. You know, and to make things worse, I didn't just lose my money. You know, I handle my finances like an absolute dipshit. I didn't save money for taxes, so now I owe the IRS.
Sorry. I can't help but interject here again. Let me go back. Here, he says this.
That's an emotionality thing. You know, and to make things worse, I didn't just lose my money. You know.
No, you didn't. You lost your fucking followers a shitload of money. Way more money than you fucking lost. Way more money. Now, I thought that that's what he was going to say. Silly me. Thinking, maybe he will, and maybe he will later on in the video. Don't tell me if he does or not, Manuel. But, I mean, for God's sake, you didn't just lose your money. Yeah, no shit. You lost a lot of people a lot of money because they believed your ass. But no. Oh, let's hear about how you didn't withhold any money for taxes because taxes.
You know,
the fuck out of here.
I didn't just lose my money. you know? I handle my finances like an absolute dipshit. I didn't save money for taxes, so now I owe the IRS and the North Carolina Department of Revenue just shy of $1 million.
I'm going to single out and blow this comment up, because this is so true, and this is exactly right. This is exactly right. He never had money, so he lived like the money would never end. But guess what? It ended. Which is exactly why 9 out of 10 times when you have people who win things like the lottery and they come into money and they never had money, they never learned how to manage money, they never knew how to keep any more than $10 in their bank account, this is what happens. And that is like, oops, let me fix that. We talked about this at the time, at various times, and everybody, you know, we've all kind of had this kind of manner of thinking that lottery winners, like, you didn't deserve that money. You didn't earn it. So you are not going to treat it with the respect that you would treat it if you had earned it. Like the way how I would treat my dad's credit card, you know, at the mall in 1998 when I was a teenager was a lot different than the way I treated the cash in my wallet, you know, that came from the paycheck that I made working at Staples or wherever. That money I didn't want to spend. I had no problem spending money on Dad's credit card. No, yeah, need a new pair of shoes. But yeah, I mean that is like so true, man.
I didn't pay off my mortgage, so I still have, you know, nearly $200,000 left on the mortgage. It's like $170K or $165, something like that. I didn't pay off.
Oh, good.
I don't drive that anymore, obviously. I forewent that.
Why not?
Bank or whatever the correct word is for that. And I also borrowed money.
They took back what they owned, is what actually you call that. You didn't own it, and they took it back because, you know, somebody else probably wanted to buy it. They probably don't want to buy it now. And they might have at the time. But no, yeah, it wasn't yours anymore. That's what happened.
In the tune of about $400,000. I'm making payments to those people, and I'm making it right. I'm on some really long-term payment plans with everybody that I borrowed from so they get their money back. But I was just a fucking loser, and I was being a degenerate, and I was making really bad decisions financially, and I had to get myself out of my own way.
Yeah, the word is repo, but you know what? It's funny because what was the repo? This wasn't the repo that Trey would talk about. Oh, no. It was the reverse repo that Trey would talk about, and his ass got reverse repoed. That's fantastic. But yes, your ass got repoed.
Moment when I realized before I walked away from YouTube that I had to put the shovel down. Like, I was holding a very big shovel, and all I was doing was digging myself deeper and deeper and deeper into the ground. It felt like I was digging my own grave, you know? And in order to get out of that, I first had to put the shovel down so I could sit there and look up at how far I've dug myself, you know? And that's what I did. The other piece of why I ended up walking away was a psychological thing. It had nothing to do with money. It had to do how I thought of and viewed myself. Rightfully so, may I say. I thought of myself very low.
Good question. I caught that in there too, Manny, and I don't know. That is like why he also, but he did say that he excuse me. He did say that he did say sorry. He did say that he didn't share what was going on with his family. So nobody knew about it. So I'm guessing that they didn't realize he was a broke loser. I don't know. Good question, though.
Totally.
All right.
Away was a psychological thing. It had nothing to do with money. It had to do how I thought of and viewed myself. Rightfully so, may I say. I thought of myself very lowly. But I would look in the mirror every single day. I would say, you are a piece of shit. You had it all, and you blew it, and your life is fucked forever. And I didn't think of myself very highly. What I cared about more at the time was being thought of highly by the people in my life, being liked. I'm a people pleaser at heart, and if you watch my stuff for any period of time, you know that.
Well,
others would cut me deep.
Isn't it funny how people end up being the kind of exact opposite of, I don't know.
Carry myself and conduct myself differently. But what I craved more than anything in life at the time, and I would never admit it back then to myself, was just to be liked by others, which is, to me, the wrong way to live life. That's a very unsatisfying life. And you can't control that a whole lot. You can't control what other people think of you. All you can control is what you think of yourself and the way that you carry yourself and move and walk and talk and act and breathe, But I didn't. At the time, I just wanted people to like me. I wanted to be popular. I wanted to feel like I was making a difference in the lives of others. And I still want to make a difference in the lives of others today. But you can't do that if you can't help yourself, And I was not helping myself at all. I was just hurting myself. I put myself into a shit-ass situation. And I'm still in it today. I pay the North Carolina Department of Revenue like $1,200 or $1,300 a month. The IRS garnishes wages. My mortgage is like $1,300 a month. My Honda Civic that I drive is like $900 a month on a 3-year loan with just a retarded shit interest rate. It's like 15 or 16%. I pay a couple grand a month to friends.
Does this guy not have any fucking
utilities? I mean, you get the picture. I put myself into a bad spot, and I don't say this to make you feel bad for me, because it is 100% my own fault. We are the man of.
Nobody here feels bad for you. Don't worry. You don't worry about that, man. We got you. But he pays $900 a month for a Honda Civic? Is this guy capable of making any fucking competent decisions at all? I swear to fucking God. You know what?
This is what happens when you work to change things, and first they think you're crazy, then they fight you, and then all of a sudden you change the world.
And you're driving a Civic for $900 a month.
Ship, and I drove my ship straight into an iceberg, and it sank, and I was about to drown. And the only way to keep yourself from drowning is to swim to shore. So I slowly did. But before I get into, what happened after I left YouTube and, the story of all that, I first want to conclude losing my money and why I walked away. I lost all of my money that I made from YouTube, and I walked away because I had to get out of my own way. And I understand that I left a lot of you high and dry, and the criticism that I receive is just
here we go.
And I understand. I don't expect people to support me. I don't expect you to like me. I don't expect anything, All that I care about these days is being able to look in the mirror and say that I am happy with the way that I'm moving, walking, talking, acting, despite the result. I want to be proud of the process. And I think to be proud of the process, if I'm going to come back to you,
slinging lots of happy hour appetizers at Applebee's, Lynn. That's how. I guess slinging some dervs, as they say in the catering business. I don't know.
The truth about who I am.
He said he was a server at BW3. This was before, though. This was before. I don't know what he's doing now. Also, isn't it ironic? Don't you think that he was the one tipping the waiters and waitresses before $10,000, and now he's? I guess that's why he did that. So he could give back to his former lowly self. But yeah, that didn't, it was foolish at the time. We called it out at the time. I have a video. It was one of the first videos I remade on my new channel after the great YouTube schism of 2021. I think that video is titled High Roller or something like that. Anyway, yeah. He must be pulling some G's now, though.
Process. If I'm
somehow.
YouTube, you guys have to understand the truth about who I am and that part of my life. I am happy with the way that I'm moving.
Let's go back.
Is deserved for that. And I walked away because I had to get out of my own way. And I understand that I left a lot of you high and dry. And the criticism that I receive is deserved for that. And I understand. I don't expect people to support me. I don't expect you to like me. I don't expect anything, you know? All that I care about these days is being able to look in the mirror and say that I am happy with the way that I'm moving, walking, talking, acting, despite the result. I want to be proud of the process. And I think to be proud of the process, if I'm going to come back to YouTube, you guys have to understand the truth about who I am and that part of my life, that segment of my life. And that segment of my life, I was a fucking loser. I had all the knowledge, all the money, all the ability to put myself and others into a better place, and I didn't do it. And it's my own fault. And I want to take accountability for that. So with that being said, now that that's out of the way, when I walked away from YouTube, the first year afterwards, I spent the majority of my time just looking out the window. I wanted to die. I was definitely suicidal. Things sucked. All I could think about was you had it all and you blew it, and all these people hate you, and there's absolutely no way you can get out of this situation. You don't have any reason to be alive anymore. It was a very tough year. That was the hardest year of my life by a very, very long margin. And it was the hardest year of my life because it was the first time that I had ever really been humbled. I know this probably sounds crazy, but I really did think of myself as invincible from like birth until 2021 when that happened to me. I just never really been humbled before. I don't say this to be cocky.
Is that... I mean... Okay, all right.
I say it because it's just the truth of how my life has rolled out so far. I never really had a super major failure at any point in my life that set me back a very long ways. I worked hard to get the things that I had. You know, I was a good runner. I did well in school. I worked hard at my jobs. I worked hard in the music that I would make. But I only ever really saw half of the equation of like, if I work hard, I get what I want. And YouTube like certainly gratified that for me. Like when I started YouTube, I made 3, 4, 5, 6 videos a day, and within a month I had 100,000 subscribers. So I was like, oh, if I work hard, I get what I want. But that's not always how it goes.
That's not working hard, though. How is that working hard? How is that working hard? I made 3, 4, 5 videos a day, and I didn't make fucking shit on YouTube because I wasn't lying to people. I was working hard to expose your ass. And you were sitting there making the fucking money, and my channel ultimately got deleted as a result. So I reject this wholeheartedly and whole-mindedly. You were not working hard at all. In fact, we were working hard to expose you. And you know what? It turns out we were fucking right. Does anybody care? Well, that's for other people to decide. I don't care if other people care or not. And it's not about us being right here. Don't ever think that it was about that. It was about exposing these liars and grifters, which he's now admitting, in not so many words, that he was. If only vindication, you know, came with the dollar signs, right?
And things don't go your way. And for me, things didn't go my way in front of hundreds of thousands of people, and that certainly added to it. You know, I felt
but we didn't know that.
Embarrassed.
We didn't know that.
Failing.
We didn't know that. You didn't tell us that. You didn't fucking tell us that. So you're having a private struggle with yourself, losing tens of thousands, if hundreds of thousands of dollars, gambling in whatever form it was, while projecting the image of being successful, being a master options trader, such that you'd even put out a master options trading class. I have no fucking words.
As I had, but failing in front of the world That's a tough experience.
Nobody fucking knew you failed because you didn't tell anybody. You told nobody. You told nobody. The liars even get elected to president of the United States. And the head of Doge. Yeah, who cares about getting elected to president of the United States anymore? I want to be the new head of Doge. How do I do that? How do I get on that ballot? Right?
Experience, you know?
Go the route of Trey.
But there eventually came a point where I thought, I just need to do something to make myself feel better. So I picked up the gym. And I didn't go a lot. I went maybe 3 or 4 days a week at first, but that got me motivated enough to get a job. So I ended up getting a job at Buffalo Wild Wings. And let me say that I didn't just like go from not working to working like things were normal. I had some very bad anxiety and a very hard time in social situations. I was very socially awkward. I would always look down at the ground. I couldn't look people in the eye. I couldn't hold.
Oh, we know. We know.
Like fried all the time.
Oh, we know. We know.
The worst possible things that could happen in any type of situation. But what I did to cope with that is I fabricated my life to the people that I worked with, because at the time I hadn't foregone my Tesla to the bank yet, and I was driving that to work, and people would see me pull up in it, they'd be like, why are you working, dude? So what I would tell them is, I just have this job so I can socialize. I'm a social creature, and not talking to people is hard for me, you know? But
oh, I'm independently wealthy. I don't need to work. I just do it because I don't have any friends. I want somebody to talk to. Get the fuck out of here. You fucking lose. What the hell is this shit? Oh, yeah. I drive a Tesla. So yeah, why are you working, dude? Oh, it's because I don't have any friends, bro. You all want to be my friends? What the fuck? Oh, God.
And I eventually realized this just doesn't, like, I just don't feel good. I have a bad feeling in my stomach, in my gut. I just am not happy with myself and the way that I'm conducting myself. And I wanted a fresh start. I wanted to be honest with people moving forward. And I am so glad that I made that decision, because it is freeing. People can't hold things over your head if you've already held them over your own head. If you're accountable for your actions and for your mistakes and the things that you do, it's not going to hurt you when people point them out to you, you know? I think that criticism only really hurts if you haven't accepted and realized it yourself. So I decided to do that, and I quit that job and I got a fresh start. My first job after that was as a personal trainer at a gym here in town. I was making $18 for every hour that I was training clients, which is fine. It's okay money, but for the bills that I had, it wasn't spectacular. But from that day on is really when I started to grow as a person, because I owned up to my actions to the people around me. And it wasn't easy. You know, I certainly, for that whole 6 months I was there, I was still very socially awkward. I still couldn't hold conversations. I couldn't look people in the eye. I had anxiety.
Is this a pity party for Trey? What is this?
Eventually I realized that's not going to be enough money for me to do what I need to do. So I quit that job and I got a different serving job. And that is where I have been at now for the last year and a quarter or so. And the same thing goes there. You know, every single person that works with me at that place knows that I have debt of $1 million. They know that I was once rich and that I blew it all. They know that I have a YouTube channel that's got over 300,000 subscribers and a Twitter with over 200K. And they just know that I was a dingus and I was a degenerate and that I was a loser. And that I got myself where I am today because of my own choices and my own actions, you know? So over that year and a quarter, I slowly noticed myself starting to improve and grow and change. I can now look people in the eye again. I can hold good conversations. I actually have a good small circle of friends in real life, not just internet friends, you know, which is sick because that's the first time I've really had that since college. You know, I had my assistant back when I did YouTube. He was a good friend of mine and still is today.
He had an assistant on YouTube? Get the fuck out of here. I never had an assistant. Man, I could have torn your ass to shreds if I had an assistant. Fuck, I did everything myself.
But
freeloader.
People in my life were just like around that I hung out with and did stuff that supported me IRL, so to speak. So that's been really nice for sure. But that was a very slow and arduous, if that's even a word, process that required me being humble.
It's a word that you know nothing about, actually. Arduous is a word. Okay, anyway.
You know, that lesson, the lesson in all of this is Two big things for me. Number one is that I'd never been humbled like that in my entire life. I really did think of myself as invincible, as a god, so to speak, which maybe sounds crazy to you, but when you go from being a nobody to a somebody overnight like that, it fundamentally changes your psychology. And I thought of myself as pretty invincible. You know, I didn't really think that I could do wrong, so to speak, but I could, and I did, and I fucked my life up pretty rough, man. But the second lesson that I learned over the last couple of years, is, I'm trying to think of how to say it.
Scott Allen is an asshole. Oh, no. Okay.
Myself. I learned that what matters most is being able to look at yourself in the mirror at the end of every single day and say, no matter the outcome, I know that I did the right thing and I did what I could do. And there's real value in that. And I don't think I've been able to say that for most of my life. For most of my life, I've been motivated by being viewed in a positive light by others.
Oh, God.
From high school and college and YouTube was motivated by pleasing other people, by being viewed in a positive light by other people. I never wanted to do it for myself, you know? And now all I want for myself is to look myself in the eye and say, you're doing good things, to have a family someday, to have kids, to be a provider, to be a rock, to be a supporter for those future people and for my family that's presently here today. And in order to do that, I've got a lot of work to do, man, but I had to first accept and learn that lesson. I obviously don't gamble anymore either. I haven't been to a casino in years. That would obviously be a silly thing to do. And
what about the stock market? I've been waiting patiently.
I have to take a much drastically different approach to the market. You know, I'm not I think Madness is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So I'm certainly going to be approaching the market and have been approaching the market in a much different way, a much slower way, a much safer way, a much less risky way.
Uh-huh.
But I guess that sort of brings me up to present day, which is I'm in a lot of debt and I have a lot of work to do to get myself into a better situation.
Congratulations, you're an American.
To do that, I think I need to come back to YouTube. But before I get into that, I first...
Yeah. Of course you do. Of course you do. Of course you do, because you still have 338,000 fucking morons who listen to you. Of course you need to come back to YouTube, because you're going to... 63,000 fucking views in 2 days. How much money are you going to make off this one, bitch? Get the fuck out of here.
I'm going to talk about, you know, being open and transparent and honest with everybody and taking accountability for the mistakes I made in my life. There's one that you guys need to know, which is that I was paid to talk about a stock and did not disclose that I was paid to talk about it. It happened one time, singular time. It happened never again after that. But that stock was ticketed to one thing, because I'm going to talk about, you know, to YouTube. But before I get into it, I'm in a lot of debt. And I have a lot of work to do to get myself into a better situation. And in order to do that, I think I need to come back to YouTube. But before I get into that, I first need to say one thing, because I'm going to talk about, you know, being open and transparent and honest with everybody and taking accountability for the mistakes I made in my life. There's one that you guys need to know, which is that I was paid to talk about a stock and did not disclose that I was paid to talk about it. It happened one time, singular time. It happened never again after that. But that stock was ticker ZKIN. I was never paid to talk about AMC in a positive light or a negative light. I've never been paid to talk about any other stock in a positive light or a negative light, but I was paid to talk about that stock and did not disclose it. If you're on Twitter and you follow me, I've already talked about this.
That's illegal.
But the Plain Bagel was conducting an investigation on that company, and he reached out to me and said, were you paid to talk about this stock, and did not disclose to talk about it? And I admitted to him that I had. And that screenshot's floating around on the internet, and some people have insinuated things about that, but that is just the honest to God truth. And that was obviously the wrong thing to do. My rationale at the time was I wasn't very well off. I hadn't really hit it big on YouTube yet. I got reached.
We don't care.
Some Korean or Asian lady on Instagram.
Don't care. Oh, some Korean lady, some Asian lady. Who knows? I forget what flavor.
At the time,
Get you. Oh my God.
Very well. Mara, Riot, Zekin, we're all hitting it pretty big. So I thought, well, I'm already thinking about taking a trade in this, and they want to offer me some money, so why not? But I should have disclosed that I was paid to talk about it. I didn't disclose it because what I cared about the most at the time was being viewed in a positive light by my audience. That doesn't make it right. It's certainly not the right thing to do. That was the wrong thing to do. But that is the rationale and the reason as to why I did it. I would have been rightfully bashed for it. I would have deserved that, and I should have been bashed for it. And I was caught, actually, when...
You fucking were bashed for it, bitch. You absolutely were bashed for it. You don't realize it. But when you disappeared, you did not disappear from our radar. Oh, no. No, 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 no. And we saw the plain bagel video, and we reacted to it in a fucking live stream, and we talked about it, and we fucking roasted your ass. This is the... I'm going to withhold my true feelings until the end.
Got paid to talk about that stock and didn't disclose it because Tom Nash was offered the same thing, and he publicly shared that email with his audience, and I had a video up still talking about it, and I got roasted. And I just made up some bullshit excuses, coincidence and blah, blah, blah about the company. But the truth is it wasn't coincidence. It did happen. I was paid to talk about that stock and did not disclose it. I was paid to talk about it, and that was the wrong thing to do. I learned from it. It was the only time it ever happened. I haven't been that man for a long time, but that version of me has existed. And I want to also say that I'm not trying to convince you to trust me. I'm not trying to convince you to like me. I don't expect the full support of every single person that knows this about me. I just want to take accountability for my actions because that's the right thing to do. So I'll leave it at that. The last thing that I want to talk about, I'm coming back to YouTube, and I have two main goals. The first and most important to me is getting out of debt. I put myself into a rough spot with all my decision making over the last couple of years. And in order to get out of it, I need a bigger shovel. Now, I don't plan on just coming back to YouTube and making bullshit. You know, I'd like to provide value for you guys, which brings me into point number two. Point number two is I want to share my story because I don't think I'm the only person who's probably in these shoes. Like I said earlier in this video, I think I said it, 70% of people that win the lottery end up losing all the money. And I imagine that there are a lot of people out there who metaphorically won the lottery and lost all the money. And if you felt, or I still feel the way that I felt, I don't want anybody to have to experience that. And I want to share my story and journey getting out of debt and fixing my life. Because there's really two ways that I can look at my life moving forward, and that you can look at your life moving forward if you're in a similar shoe, is either, you know, this path, which is my life is fucked and I'm just going to live in misery, or path two, which is my life sucks. I got myself here. I need to accept that that was a version of me, learn from it, and try to move forward and grow and fix shit. And you might never fix shit, you know? But isn't it better to think, I think Matthew McConaughey says this, it's better to like believe that everything's going to be all right than to think that everything isn't, you know? Even if things aren't all right, I'd rather believe in myself enough to...
Brilliant.
It's possible to fix shit, you know? So I'm going to try. And that's where I'm at. And I want to share that journey with you. I'm not a guru. I'm not a genius. This is going to be a learning process for me. But I want to do things a much different way. I want to take a real approach to finance, more so than trading. I want to talk about my journey in finance, managing my finances, getting out of debt, saving money, buying stocks long term, wheeling the stock that I own, selling calls and puts against it, trading occasionally, you know, taking trades, but certainly in a much less risk-adverse way and with a much smarter approach. Not putting money to the market that I can't afford to lose, you know, paying my taxes, paying my mortgage off. I want to share it all with you. So that's where I'm at. I plan on eventually getting back into live streaming. I plan on making videos regularly again. I plan on sharing. And if you want to be a part,
you want to share your adulting with us. That is so fucking cute. That is so fucking cute, Trey. I want to kiss you right now.
part of that, I would be honored to have you. And if not,
what a fucking adult.
There's good reason to support my comeback, I think, but there's also good reason not to. I made some poor choices, and there's consequences to that, and I accept that. It is what it is. I guess my last piece that I'm going to say, and then I'm going to get out of here, is Colin Gladman is a mentor to me. And one thing that he really sort of has ingrained in my brain and many others that follow him is to build a house, you got to stack a couple bricks at a time. It doesn't happen overnight. I want to make a very small, slow approach to building this house. And in order to do that, you just got to lay a brick, you know, lay a brick at a time. And that's my plan. And you can do that too if you're in a similar situation. So I guess that's what I got. I got to get my PC fixed. I got to replace my motherboard. But once that's fixed, I'm going to be back, and I'll be seeing y'all. Take it easy.
Why don't you get Jim Savoldi over there at BAM Trader to buy you another PC? Huh? He bought your PC and did you? Maybe he hawked it for money. Wow, that was terrible. That was that an apology? I don't think that was an apology. That was a pity party. That was where's bullshit. I'm going to need to add some things to my soundboard here. I really need a particular Ren and Stimpy quote. You idiot! You idiot! Ah!
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me. So, I don't know what people think about that video, but yeah, that was some bullshit. I mean, the fence sitter in me can sit here and say, well, you know, good for him to come out and, you know, blah, 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 blah. But then, you know, like I was saying before, he didn't really, I don't know. That did not sit well with me. Did not sit well with me. Okay. Let's move on. I have to. That is, oh, Jesus. Now, what else do we have here? What else do we have here? We may come back to that, but the other meme stock hawk of the day, I haven't seen this either, or have I? Maybe.
Feed as we are seeing President Donald Trump joined by Elon Musk and his son here. We do believe that the president is set to buy a Tesla from Elon Musk.
Oh.
Let's take a look.
President Trump, are you looking to buy or lease today?
Well, I'm going to buy, and I'm going to buy because, number one, it's a great product, as good as it gets.
Oh,
this man
woo!
His energy and
Yes. You know what? Donald Trump, if you believe in this product, can we set up a brick wall? Can we set up a brick wall that looks like the road continues, just like the Wile, just like the Looney Tunes, Merry Melodies, Wile E. Coyote deal? Can we do that? Do you believe in Tesla that much? Because I think you should. Let's set up that wall. Let's get that wall painted up. Can we? Can we please get that fucking wall built? That's a wall that I will support your ass building. Oh, man.
It's been treated very unfairly by
a
very small group of people. And I just want people to know that you can't be penalized for being a patriot. And he's a great patriot. And he's also done an incredible job with Tesla. And, I mean, nobody else has a car company started up in the last 30 years that's been successful.
Yes. Yes, they fucking have, you fucking moron. What the fuck? Oh, my God.
I don't think so. And not only...
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Because he's able to find billions and billions and billions of dollars of fraud and waste and all of the things. I mean, our country's going to be very strong very soon because of a lot of the things and a lot of the things that I'm doing. And there's no better team, but there's no better for what we...
There's no better team to suck each other off than these two.
There's nobody like this, and he shouldn't be...
How much is that Tesla, Trump? $69,000.
And when I watched the other day, I said, I can't believe it. It should be the opposite. People should be going wild, and they love the product, but because he's finding all sorts of terrible things that have taken.
Because he's associated with you. Oh my God. Good fucking God. How much do we have to watch of this?
Place against our country. They want to penalize them in a economic sense, and I just think that's very unfair. So
Yes. Because I'm sorry.
all sorts of terrible things that have taken place against our country. They want to penalize them in a economic sense, and I just think that's very unfair. So I just wanted to make a statement. I'm
so cute. It's so cute. It's like fucking Trey buying $100,000 of AMC stock. Remember when Trey did that? I'm committing to buying $100,000 of AMC stock. Well, now we know that you were a fucking idiot when you did that. Definitively. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, I know. I saw the wall. I just want Trump to try it out. He should try it. I mean, because it totally worked. Like, cameras work as good as LiDAR, for real. Like, you don't need LiDAR. Cameras work. Let's go back to AMC stock. Or, you know what? Actually, no. Ooh. I know where we'll go from here. And we're not going to do a long live stream because the first part of what we just did, the Trey Collins? Yeah. The Trey Collins part. It's too cold in there. Oh, is it? That part, I'm happy with just that. Exposing that and commenting on that. But anyway, let's see what we got here. We have a new Connect the Dots from what's this guy's name? Otis Marantz or Marantz Rico Marantz. Rico, I don't know. Rico gonna get deported. I don't know. Okay. We got a new Connect the Dots part 89. Part 89. All right. We're not going to watch all this either. Don't even think that it's going to even be anywhere close to that. Excuse me. My rants. All right.
Of my life. Holy guys, I don't know what.
Let's hear what he's got. He's so excited about.
World that I live in today. World that I live in today.
What about this world that you look at all that crap that he bought from? Look at all those physical fucking games that he's bought from GameStop. That's hilarious. Also, he's got his high school diploma proudly displayed. That's also very good, Very noble accomplishment you got there under your belt. That's something to be proud of. All right. From one fucking loser named Trey to another one named Donald to a third one named fucking Rico. Here we go. The trifecta of fucking losers tonight.
There's no symbolism of this song like in the world that I live in today. I'm just saying, I don't know if you need a hero. I don't know what all that's about. I just a big fan of Footloose growing up. So the two songs from Footloose were Let's Hear It for the Boy and this damn song, I'd be out there dancing in the rain. I don't know what I would do. Remember, I'm a professional dancer. What's up with you kids? Get it right, get it tight. Welcome back. Welcome back to Marantz Rants. Plenty of good information, a little bit of motivation, whole lot of truth, no financial advice. Can I cuss? Can I cuss this? I was out there fucking shit up. Swear to God I was. There I was, giggling. No, I was not giggling. I was actually, you know what I was? I was up till about 3 o'clock in the morning. I swear to goodness. Because, I get out of work. I don't get home till about like midnight. Wifey made the best shrimp tacos of my life.
Oh, boy. I don't know what oh, man. Oh, I don't know what she used.
Joking me. 89. I'm just right there. Yeah, man, let me think about making a video about this, and that. Not only are you getting GameStop content tonight, today, whatever. We're talking, I'm not going, guys, we're going to be here for a couple of hours. Strap it in. If you put the kids to bed, if you're right there, just
Oh, my God.
73 days, something like that. That's live right here in front of you about private equity.
Oh, how in the fuck did I know? Yeah, he's the only one left out of the fucking three.
9. I'm going to take myself off the screen. I'm going to get serious for a minute. Or am I? And for all of you that...
We can do that for you.
Education with delivery of the message. Don't confuse the message. This is a one-take session. No edits, no cuts. I do it live right here in front of you. About private equity, leveraged buyouts, and publicly traded companies and the influence
do it
they
live!
have when they infiltrate the board of directors
Do
of
it
certain
live!
companies. I have followed the track record of numerous board of directors, and when I see them show up at another company, I throw up the flare.
Really? When you see a board of directors show up at another company, you throw up a flare. Can I please tell us the company from which you buy your flares so that I can buy stock in that company? You fucking moron.
I say, pay attention. Connect the dots. Let's go.
Drive change, and together we've transformed.
Told me you took the job. Look, I got
in.
But she was in charge of this company for X amount of years, and now...
Because you came to me a couple years ago and said, "This is going to be a 3-year turnaround. You do passive brilliance. Don't get ahead of yourself, Jim. It's going to take 3 years." I wanted you to come. I drove the idea. Now. I was early. You weren't. It's really working.
You know, transformations take time. I mean, it's a few steps forward, a step back, and we had some things we needed to fix in the company, and the strategy's working. It's good to see.
Well, go through passive brilliance, because when you first told me about it, I said, it sounds kind of business schooly. I don't know if it's going to work, but it turned out to be the real deal.
Yeah, it's the real deal. So we have 3 key strategies: customer first, omni-channel, and building a culture of agility and efficiency. Let me start with the last one first. We've been saving money in the company. We're driving out costs that customers don't see or care about so that we can...
You know, guys.
Sorry, I realized I was muted. 80% of publicly traded companies, the top 100 share at least one board member. That's what we're seeing here. So, you know, whatever. This is a nothing burger as far as I'm concerned. But what I just want to get to the chase. I want to cut to the chase where GameStop is woefully undervalued and is the key to financial freedom. I'm cutting to that chase because that is inevitably the conclusion. Right?
When I say connect the dots, and I try to tell you, like, they're shorting it and they're destroying it, and it was 100. Like I'm gonna show you something else. This is like extra for you guys.
How about this? How about this simple question? If they're shorting it and destroying it, then what the fuck does private equity matter? If private equity is already destroying it, as they do, apparently, then what difference does it make what happens to the publicly traded stock? Actually, what difference does it make in any case what happens to the publicly traded stock? The answer is none. It makes no difference whatsoever. The publicly traded stock is bullshit. It's bullshit. It's less than worthless. All of them are, essentially. But I don't understand. I mean, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth here. Private equity is the problem, but they're also shorting it. It cannot be both. It has to be one or the other. Otherwise, you're just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. None of it sticks.
This is Signet Jewelers right here. This is the chart. This is the weekly chart. When Gina Drosis, whatever the hell her name is, when she took over, she's over here. 125 board of directors, they're doing great. They sucked everything out of this company.
Oh yeah, let's show you the fucking COVID crash, and let's say they sucked everything out of the company. Get the fuck out of here. You are a fucking lying piece of fucking shit. You are the biggest piece of shit on YouTube right now.
Somewhere over here in the 50s, and they sucked it all out. They pumped it back up private.
And what would happen? What would happen if I went to look at the, you know, I don't know, the market cap chart, for example? I don't know. They only have 42 million shares now. Okay.
Private equity pumps it back up, and they suck it.
Private equity pumps it back up, pumps the stock back up. Okay, yeah, that's where we're at. Okay, I don't need to hear any more of this. Still talking about fucking the jewelry company?
It's going to be organic. It's going to be organic.
No, back on GameStop.
And they know how to grow their business. They really do. They understand it. It's not
okay. So also, in addition to private equity killing a jewelry store and then bringing it back, they also, you know, GameStop has an organic business that is growing. So it doesn't matter what private equity does then in that case, right? It doesn't matter if anybody's short selling the fucking stock, which it doesn't matter anyway. But it double doesn't matter because GameStop is so strong. Look at all those red lines. Red means strong. Yeah.
And 900 plus institutions own it. 400 plus.
Because they have to.
GameStop right now. It fluctuates every now.
Because they have to.
900 own Supermicro computers. If I were to tell you a company like Palantir has 2,000, 3,000 shareholders, or actual institutional holders in it. This is how many institutions hold the damn stock. You have NVIDIA, 6,500 institutions own NVIDIA. 7,000 institutions own Apple.
Really? I mean, you're not showing me anything.
Has when only 400 institutions hold it? Could you imagine?
Well, that's one way to look at it, I guess. You could also look at it as 7,000 people own this shit over here that actually has some value, and only 400 own this shit over here that doesn't have any fucking value. I think that is equally as fucking valid a way to look at it. Don't you think? I don't know.
Imagine they make a profit. They get into the S&P 500. There's so much.
Oh my God.
For this thing to boom, and that price is not going to stay where it's at. Not when that many people are buying in.
No, hell no, it can't.
You gotta get people in.
It can't.
You gotta find out how to get them in. You got to show.
Yeah, pump them. Pump it. Yes, you have to pump it. Pump it.
Say nothing. You let your words and your actions speak for you. You know.
I wish that you would do that. I wish that you would shut the fuck up and let this company's fucking failure speak for itself. Utter fucking failure of Ryan Cohen. The utter failure of Ryan Cohen, the boy wonder, billionaire boy wonder, was thinking about. Oh my God. You can't even make this shit up anymore. You never could.
I was reading up on this lady, this new hire from Warner Brothers for GameStop. What's her name? Pamela Cook, is that her name? She's a vice president of Warner Brothers. She left them to join GameStop. And if you read up on her LinkedIn at the bottom, it says, why aren't you guys promoting and advertising and doing? And she was like, we let our actions speak for us. Like, you don't need to promote things. You don't need to tell anybody anything.
Then why do you have 89 fucking videos in this series of garbage promoting this? Why do you feel the need to do it then? If you say that it doesn't need to be done, then why are you doing it incessantly every goddamn fucking day? And by the way, it ain't working, dude. This fucking stock is dead. It is dead. Oh, my God.
Just do your business. I mean, guys, GameStop did one.
Oh, I forgot about those.
Cards graded a PSA.
1 million cards. Oh my God, 1 million cards graded by a third fucking party contractor. Wow, guys. Oh my God, they are really destined for fucking greatness. 1 million cards they sent to another company. Yes. Oh, this is the most pathetic shit I have ever heard. It's by far loads more pathetic, boatloads of more pathetic than anything that Trey has done lately. My fucking God. Jesus fuck.
Advertising for that. I see them. I mean, I don't see ads everywhere. I don't see posters everywhere. I don't see commercials. Let me see a commercial for GameStop. And it says, get your cards graded at PSA. No, you're going to know about it. It's going to be organic. It's going to be an organic thing. It's going to happen. And they know how to grow their business. They really do. They understand it. It's not time for...
Yeah. They do. They understand that in order to grow, you have to shrink. Right? Mm-hmm. They understand that in order to grow... you need to close stores. You need to, kill off divisions. You need to start a project and then kill it. They understand all that. Ryan Cohen understands this, guys. I mean, he gets it. He knows how to do it. It's just that he doesn't want to. Clearly. I mean, if he wanted to, he would. He could. He absolutely would. But he didn't want to. Just like he didn't want to with Chewy. He didn't want that company to be profitable when he sold it. See, there was more money, there was more headroom, there was more growth potential with that business being unprofitable. See, that's what everybody doesn't get. That's what everybody does not understand. If a company is more unprofitable, there is way more room to grow than there is than if they are already profitable. So what you want to find the unprofitable businesses, especially the ones that they can barely give the CEO position away to some 30-year-old because the headroom is there. You know what I'm saying? There's room to grow. There's no room for Walmart to grow. There's no room for Costco to grow. They're already too big. They can't sell any more stuff than they do now. But GameStop doesn't sell anything now. So there's a way more that they can sell. Do you get it? Do you get it? Good. Now go buy GameStop. That's the message here. I'm glad that we got that all straightened out.
Time to show the profit to the people, and then you'll get an ad campaign. I mean, can you imagine? They put like a coupon on a website or something. It says like, click on this for your downloaded code to get a discount on when you go grade a card, and $10 to get. You would know the traffic. You would understand all the click-through ratios. You would have all these stats. But that'll happen. I see it happening. I see so much happening with GameStop.
Oh yeah.
But unfortunately, at this
again,
time in my life,
because
I have to take a
there is so much room for them to grow, being on the bottom. People don't understand about bottom. If when you're on the bottom, you got nowhere to go but up, right? And because GameStop's on the absolute bottom with only 400 institutions who own the stock, there is so much room for explosive growth.
Small break to drink this Coke Zero. That's how I see it.
Oh, hey, man. Hey, not going to argue with that. Not going to argue with that one. Oh, was that good? Stevia. Love it.
Oh, man. I had all this energy in the morning before I ate. But, I got to take a nap.
I was just about to say, you know what? It sounds like a good time for a fucking nap. The big sleep.
Yeah, I don't want to sell. Definitely not at these prices. And I don't need the money like that. I'm here for the journey.
Here's the personal justification bullshit of connect the dots. See, this is how it connects to him. I'm glad that I could help you connect those dots, Model 3 dude. I really am. Oh, look, there's one of the cards. There's one of the million cards. Come on, show us.
All my cards. And I have them all, dude. And I found so many that I'm going to give away that I didn't know that I have.
Oh, really?
I'm showing you guys. Like remember the kid? He was like, I want to show him.
Show and tell.
Here I go. I have it, right? I even gave one to my daughter because she.
Oh, I'm sure that she
Tri-card there.
will cherish that card forever.
And Ellie De La Cruz, like these are cards that kids would want. You know, Paul.
Yeah, they are.
You want these?
Yes, they are.
And because these guys are like the hottest players in the world right now, so I'm gonna
sell them, man. Sell them.
I'm gonna go hand out some good stuff to kids and hope they get what they're looking for.
Make sure you take the van when you do that. Okay? Make sure you take the van, man. Don't drive the Tesla. Take the van when you go give stuff out to kids.
And you know, some people get blessed. I'm gonna bless.
Yeah, I caught that. You guys, I'll go back and he's in it for the journey. Yes, it's about the journey. Life is a journey, not a destination. Mm-hmm. That's what everybody says. And you know what? Trey said basically the same damn thing. He wants to share his journey with us. He wants to share his journey of being an adult, you know, being in over his head, not having money, bad back. You're going to have to go back and watch the first half of this video later. The first half of this stream if you didn't catch it, because that was some bullshit that we saw from Trey. Trey Collins? Yeah, that's his name. Okay, anyway. That's all right. At least you're here for the ending, at least. So
that's my boy Carter's Corner.
You know, they say about bull markets, they're like sex. They're the best right before the end.
When I sent him these damn cards, Carter, I got you another card here. I got you a rookie card, Luke McCaffrey rookie card. That's going to the stack that I'm sending you. I actually have it over there.
Manuel needs to actually find proof that there is a wife anymore, because I'm doubting all of this. Model 3 dude, I'm doubting all of this. I doubt the shrimp tacos. If anything, they were from Del Taco. I'm doubting the existence of the wife. At this point, I'm doubting the daughter cared about a baseball card. And I'm sure as fuck doubting his little man cave here in a house where any female lives at all, or anywhere within, you know, like a 3-house radius. Well, nothing actually, but I mean, because I thought this was the room he moved into in his dad's house. I don't know, his dad's basement or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah.
In the mailbox. Hey guys, I've been trying to send Carter these cards for like, I don't know, 3 years. It feels like. So there's one card I don't want to give away, but I'm gonna give it to my nephew. But Danny White, my favorite quarterback. So next.
Oh yeah.
But one day to go nowhere without. He's just in my arms. So we just start playing games together. I would grab.
God, these guys from the West Coast. No offense, Model 3 dude, but what a cock. Oh my God. Tony Romo is my favorite quarterback full time, man. We'll never sell that card. You're fucking gay.
Controller, I would walk.
God damn it.
Hit the triggers. I would point it for him, and he would shoot. So he knew once I faced him, he would just start shooting, and I would aim it for him.
Oh,
we had 2 hands on the controller.
You know what, Lynn? The first or second time that I drove to California from Ohio, I saw Del Taco for the first time ever. And we didn't have a chance to go to it before we had to leave. And it was all I could think about the next time driving out to California was going to a Del Taco, because I had never done it. I had never been to Del Taco, Jack in the Box, In-N-Out, all of the cool stuff that we don't even have, okay? We don't even have Carl's Jr. here. I know. We don't even have that. We had Hardee's like 20 years ago. But, so I'm not knocking Del Taco at all. What I am knocking is the fact that he does not have a wife who made shrimp tacos that were better than Del Taco shrimp tacos. That's all.
And I showed him how to walk, how to move. And I walked it's like riding a bike, right? Like, you know how those dads take pride and like they showed their kids how to ride a bike and they go on the beach or in the street.
Why is he talking about that in the third person like that? That is weird.
and the way he taught me and Rico how to approach things and be very confident with yourself.
Oh, he's still claiming his brother's name is Rico, huh?
And then without
Is that what I heard?
this show doesn't exist without my dad and his confidence in me and the way he taught me and Rico how to approach things and be very confident with yourself.
He taught me and myself. Yes. Good. Nice cover. Nice.
Cheers.
Didn't we determine that was his name? I thought Manuel didn't. I thought that. I can't remember. How do you even live like that? I don't know. Let's ask Leanne Rhymes. Or maybe we should ask Trisha Yearwood. You know what? I'd rather ask Trisha. Yearwood. But yes, okay, Rico. So why then did he say, did you hear what he said? He referred to his brother as Rico.
I'm going to have GameStop in my hip.
Well, I went past it, but yeah.
I'm going to have GameStop in my hip. It's in my back pocket. I currently hold 975 shares of GameStop.
Whoa! Oh my God, you're so close to 1,000, dude. You have to do it. You have to do it. You have to get 1,000. You have to get 1,000 shares. I will donate money to your ass to get no, I won't. You have to get 1,000 shares. You have to. You have to. You have to. No question. You have to. That's the only way that you will ever become a millionaire.
Do I think that's the case? I don't know. I don't really think that's the case. I don't either.
$4,000 invested into GameStop.
How much?
25 shares of GameStop. I have GameStop in my hip. It's in my back pocket. I currently hold 975 shares of
That guy's not even in the Discord.
51.
He's not even in the Discord.
Not even in the Discord.
Dude, she doesn't even go here.
I have over $24,000 invested into GameStop. It might not be as much as other people. Other people might even have more.
It might not be as much as other people. Other people may even have more than I do. It might not be the most that anyone has. And someone may have more somewhere else. I may not own the highest number of GameStop shares. And someone else may hold more than me. And I hold 945 shares. It may not be the most. Someone else may also hold more than I do.
But there is not a person on this planet more dedicated and loyal to GameStop than me.
You're being a little bitch.
And I challenge anyone, even Ryan.
Ooh.
I got asked this question yesterday on Twitter. Said Morantz, because you know
why hasn't Ryan Cohen been on your podcast? That's the question I'm asking you. Why haven't you had Ryan fucking Cohen on Morantz motherfucking Rants podcast? When is the Ryan Cohen interview? Everybody knows that if you were to get Ryan Cohen, that would prove to everyone that you are the most dedicated Ryan Cohen fan ever. I don't know if he still thinks they're synthetic, because he said earlier in this video he was bitching about private equity. Then he was saying that they were shorting AMC or GameStop. And I'm wondering, why does it even matter if private equity controls it all anyway? Who cares about the shares? And I probably skipped over where he explained how that all connected. So I'm sorry. I skipped those dots, I guess. But I don't know. That's a good question, because if they erase all the synthetic shares, doesn't that make... Well, I don't know. I'm not sure how Doge is handling that these days. Yeah. And there's the wall video I see. Manuel dug up. That'll be a good one to end with, probably. So anyway, let's let Marantz.
Private equity videos on Twitter a lot lately. You go, Marantz, what's your connection with GameStop?
Ryan Cohen is private equity. I know. That's like the most funniest thing about this whole thing is that he's making all these videos knocking private equity when the CEO of the company that he challenged us to find anyone, including the CEO itself, that is more dedicated to the success of this company is private equity. He is private equity. Marantz should be a politician because what he's doing is what politicians do. You know, they lie right. He's lying right to our face. He's telling us private equity is evil at the same time that he's telling us that Ryan Cohen is the savior of the world for GameStop. But Ryan Cohen is private equity. Yeah. You should run for city council or something.
I said, what's my connection with GameStop? I own the company. I mean, it was that simple. So, that's where I'm at. You guys know where to find me. I'm on YouTube. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Twitter. I'm everywhere.
Who's on Twitter still?
I'm going to answer it the same way that I've been answering for the last 4 years. GameStop.
4 years or 5 years? I thought it was 5. I really thought it was 5. I thought you had owned it since 2020. But whatever. Maybe I'm wrong.
Can't stop, won't stop. GameStop. I'm going to see you around, millionaires. Real soon. Peace.
Great. Now time to jerk off. God, got that stream done. Where is that wife? No, I'm not pulling up an AI girlfriend app. No. Tornado crypto laundering tool being delisted by the Office of Foreign Assets as they were about GME MOAS. I understand. You wish people cared about the tornado thing as I get what you were going for. Yeah. So let's see. Can we see? So this is what I want Donald Trump, because here's the quote. Nothing is too wonderful.
It's too wonderful to be true that it can't be reproduced in another experiment. And this is what distinguishes science from religion.
Yes, Dr. Seth Putterman is correct there. That nothing is so wonderful to be true that it can't be reproduced in another experiment. And that this is what distinguishes science from religion. So, with that spirit, I would love for Donald Trump or Elon Musk, whichever one will do it. I want them to recreate this experiment from Mark Rober. If you don't know who Mark Rober is, he's a former NASA astronaut, a smart dude. And highly respected YouTuber, right? It's got like 7,000 YouTube subscribers. So let's see. This is the experiment that I would love to see reproduced, because that's what we do. Let's see it.
I'm in my Tesla on autopilot going 40 miles an hour towards a the driver's paying full attention while fully driving. Cool after the Tesla test. Oh, fudge! Could as well. Oh boy.
Okay. Spoiler alert. It didn't really see through the fog or the rain. I don't care about that so much as the Acme Incorporated fake wall.
And Tesla is 3 for 5, but as far as I'm concerned at this point, this one's the only one that matters. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're gonna do this. All right, hit it. Now, as you can see as a human driver, while that looks sort of convincing, the image processing in our brains is advanced enough that we pick up on minor visual inconsistencies and we wouldn't hit it. And as for the LiDAR, it isn't looking at what image is printed on the wall. So this sort of just looks like a wall, which would make this the easiest test of the day. And as I suspected, handled it with no problem. So the question was...
That's not the Tesla. Don't even think that was the Tesla. That was the LiDAR car. Because, you know, LiDAR is inferior. Let's see the Tesla.
Would the Tesla detect and stop for this Wile E. Coyote-style painted wall that was hiding yet another child staring at nothing during what might be his last minutes on Earth?
The one way to test that hypothesis. I was actually supposed to go, but I chickened out.
Oh! The car may not know it's a wall,
But I know it's a wall. Everything in your body says, don't drive into a wall.
oh boy. All right, here we go. And so I steeled myself and accelerated the Tesla up to the 40 miles an hour. And as the wall crept closer and closer without moving an inch,
Holy crap.
the question was if the Tesla would detect it in time to step on the brakes. And it turned out...
Holy me.
So I can definitively say for the first time in the history of the world, Tesla's optical camera system would absolutely smash through a fake wall without even a slight tap on the brakes.
My heart.
That's what is riding around on our roads out there, thanks to Elon Musk and company. So I invite Donald Trump to recreate that experiment, but use the real wall. Use the wall. Not a wall. Use the wall. Use the wall. And let's see what happens, shall we?
It's gonna beat out of my chest.
Turns out my Tesla's more Wile E. Coyote and less Roadrunner.
Sorry, little fella. Looks like we lost 2 arms and a head. Not sure that's salvageable. I think I might Uber home. But that's not all, folks, because while LiDAR proved itself the superior car technology, could it actually deliver on the dream of 14-year-old Mark Rober and map out Space Mountain well enough for me to make...
I didn't even watch this part because I don't care about 14-year-old Mark Rober or his dreams. How many dreams does one guy need to have fulfilled in his life, huh? You know? Save some dream for the rest of us. Anyway, that's all I got. In summary, the state of the grift, we didn't even really look at that. What is the state of the grift? Hold on a sec. I get the state of the grift for you. It's a very well, we're looking for the state of the grift update. That's right. Okay. Here's the state of the grift update. Coming at you here in just a moment.
Lorem ipsum dolorsitamet, consectetura di Phinylkentonics. Nulla meurisus e wax rom.
Have a good one, guys. Thank you for being on my stream. I appreciate all the viewers and participation. The state of the grift update. This is it right here.
Consectetur purus nec turpis. Sed vestibulum leo venenatis magna auctor quis molestia dui accusa.
This is what happens
convallis
when you look
metus
to
lorem
change
assi sollicitudine ex sollicitudine belli. Nullam sitam et vincitur.
You know, if you don't understand the situation, it's better sometimes not to speak and just be proven complete imbecile in the matter. Okay, so...
Ae non tempus consequat odio vitae portitor.
Man, fuck you. I think you a bitch. You understand what I'm saying?
Nulla dui portitor pretium. Nam non imperdietor.
Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying it? What are you saying?
Risus veli, ultrice seguendrit lauri,
First they think you're crazy, then they fight you.
Vivamus egellacus
I don't know, I don't really think that's the case.
And
then all of a sudden you change the world.
See you guys.
Sed dictum sem molestie cursus risus aci.